Hello, and welcome to Let's Create with the City of Tampa's Visual Arts Studios. My name is Chris Van Hillo, and today we will be making watermelon fans. If you have a template that was pre-printed, great, you can get started right away. If you do not have a pre-printed template, you're going to need to use a ruler and a pencil, and you're going to need to mark a 1/2 inch at the bottom edge, and then a 1/4 inch up from that 1/2 inch on both sides of your paper. Before we get started, let's talk about the materials that will be needed to complete your project today. You'll need a piece of white paper, popsicle sticks, clothespins, a glue stick, some string, colored pencils, Crayolas, or markers in green, red, and black, and possibly a pair of scissors. Let's go ahead and get started. The first long line that's on the edge of your paper is going to be colored in green. So you can turn the paper however it's easier for you to work, and you want to just color that entire strip in green. This second bit here is going to stay white. That's part of your watermelon rind. So your green and your white is part of the rind. Then this part is going to get colored in red. But before I do the red, I'm going to turn this around and do my other long strip of green. Once you have both of your green ends colored, you're going to color the center from that bottom line on both sides. All of this is going to get colored in red. I didn't intentionally plan to use this Crayola like that on the flat side, but every time I went to peel the paper off, I found that the crayon was broken, and I actually kind of like this. I can cover more surface area. Okay, here's my first sheet. You're going to need to do this 3 times. Once you have all 3 of your pages colored, you want to take a black marker and you want to draw in your teardropped seeds. And this is just random. You can make them as big or as little as you want. You don't have to use a marker. You could probably use a black Crayola or a colored pencil. I just decided to use a marker. And this marker seems like it's a little dried out, so I'm going to have to go get another marker. That's a lot of seeds. You're going to be doing a lot of spitting with that watermelon. So this one I think we'll try to do less seeds. And then when we put our fan together, we can decide together, do we like more seeds or do we like less seeds? Let's experiment. Also, some of these seeds are kind of big. They probably don't need to be that large. So try to control your seed making. Okay, I have all 3 of my sheets colored with lots of seeds. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my page over, and starting at the bottom edge at about a 1/2 inch, I'm going to fold that up. I'm going to keep turning my paper over and folding up that 1/2 inch. So I'm just flipping the paper over and folding it up. Flipping the paper over and folding it. All right, there's the second one. One more. Okay, so here are our three different components, okay? Now you're going to take your folded piece and you're going to fold it in half. So you have your accordion folds and you're going to fold that piece in half. And then you're going to take a piece of string and you're going to tie a knot around the center. I cut way too much string there, didn't I? That's a little bit wasteful. Make sure you do that knot as a double because you do not want it to come undone. Okay, so here's our first one, and you can always trim that. You can even tie it a third time if you want to be extra careful. Okay, so there's our first one. Here's our second one. We're going to tie this in a knot. Let's make sure everyone knows how to tie a knot. So we're going to make a loop. We're going to make a loop. We're going to loop this over there like that. And then we're going to bring this end up through the circle. Okay, let's do that again. We're going to make a circle there. We're going to lay this string down on top of it, and this end has to come through this loop, this circle. Oops, don't let go of the ends. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to hold, maybe easier if I show you, hold it in your hand. There's the loop, and this end here has to come up through that loop. All right, there's our second one. And now here's our third one. Okay, there you go. Now we can trim these ends off. Okay, so now we have these three components that we have to glue together. And we're going to glue them like this, and we're going to leave one end open, and that will be how we attach our handle. So let's get the glue out. When you glue your pieces together, make sure that your coloring is face up. You don't want to have the white part face up like that, or you'll have one backwards. So you want to make sure all your colored sides are face up. And you're going to lay it down using your glue stick. You're just going to put a nice, generous bit of glue on there. We're going to go ahead and put a nice, generous bit of glue on both sides, okay? Always put the lid on, just like with your markers. Always put the lids on, they'll dry out. Okay. And then we're going to add these two sides together, and we're going to make sure that we have the same sides, color sides up, okay? I'm going to grab a clothespin, or two or three, whoops, and I'm going to clothespin that, and clothespin that, and just kind of press them together. And I'm going to give them a couple minutes to dry, and then I will add the next layer. To add the next strip, you're just going to remove your clothespins, And again, you want to have your colored side up. And we're going to put glue on both sides. So we'll put glue here. Be very generous with the glue. And glue on this one. Glue on this. Okay. Make sure you have color sides up, which I do. And I'm going to add the clothespins again. I got a few more clothespins just to really hold it down a little bit better. Okay. Just make sure it's lined up, and we're going to let these dry for a couple minutes while we're waiting for our glue to dry so that we can attach our popsicle sticks for handles. Let's talk about two of the elements of art, which are space and form. Space refers to the distances or areas around, between, and within components of a piece. Space can be positive or negative, open or closed, shallow or deep, and 2 or 3 dimensional. Form helps an artist make things look like they're 3-dimensional. Once we open up our fan and we have it completed, let's talk about whether the fan has any 3-dimensional qualities. Let's talk about positive and negative space. Let's talk about the two elements of art, space and form. My sincerest apologies. I could not find 2 popsicle sticks anywhere in my studio, but I did find 2 coffee stirrers. So in lieu of popsicle sticks, I'm going to use coffee stirrers. I'm going to go ahead and take my ruler and hold it down, and I'm just going to mark at the 2.5 inch. On a popsicle stick, it might only be 2 inches or 1.5 inches. But I'm going to glue this part in. Let's take this off. Let's see if that's going to be, whoops, let's see if that's going to be far enough in. I think it is. That way I'll have a nice long handle. So I'm going to add some glue here on both sides of my strip. I might have to take all the popsicle sticks off so that I can get in there. Okay, there we go. So I'm just adding glue, 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 glue. And I'm going to put some glue on the end of my stick as well. Okay. Again, it doesn't hurt to be liberal with the glue. I'm going to go ahead and lay that down and, oops, go to the black mark. See it? See my little black mark there? Okay. And then I'm going to add my clothespins back in. Then I'll go to the other side. And I'm going to add the glue, glue, glue here. And glue, glue, glue there. And I'm going to put glue on my stick. Put the lid on my glue right away so I don't dry it out. I'm going to put this down to the black mark. Press that down. That way I can kind of get some of that, if I rub it with my finger, I can get some of that extra glue off that my generosity might have been a bit much there, okay? I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. Put that back in there. And I'm going to give this a couple minutes to dry. I'm going to take my clothespins out. My handles are nice and firm in there, and now I'm going to have to glue the top. I forgot about the top somehow. So let's just take our glue, and we're going to be nice and generous here. We're going to go ahead and do both sides. Okay, put the lid on the glue right away, and we're going to close this up. Whoops, sorry about that. Whoops, we're going to close this up. Really pushing down. And I'm going to go ahead and add the clothespins one more time if I can get them on there. Woo! Get your clothespins on there. 1, 2, 3. Let's give this a couple minutes to dry and we will be done. Once you take your clothespins off, go ahead and open up your fan. And these popsicle sticks are going to meet at the bottom. If you want, you can go ahead and glue this, which will keep it permanently open. Or you can leave it like this in case you want to be able to fold it up. Also, you want to turn it over and just kind of separate in case your glue stuck some of these might have gotten stuck together, and you can just run your finger down just in case they got, a couple of them got stuck together here. Okay, so just want to check them out here. And okay, there's your fan. Yay! Hope it helps keep you guys cool out there. Thank you for joining me today. Join us again soon for another installment of Let's Craft with the City of Tampa's Art Studios. And remember, stay calm, stay kind, stay safe, and always stay creative. Bye!